Lishana Tova. As Rabbi Ari Lev said, I'm Rabbi Michelle. As a point of access, I'm a white Ashkenazi femme person with very curly shoulder-length brown hair, and I'm wearing a black and white patterned dress and a red jacket. I want to invite you to set aside for a few minutes a need to believe stories literally. I invite you into imagination, metaphor, and midrash, and encourage you to connect emotionally and spiritually to stories that you might not believe are literally true. In Vayikra Rabbah, a classical rabbinic midrash, Rabbi Elazar specifies that the earth was created on the 25th of Elul, which is 5 days ago, which means that today, as the sun went down, we are at the beginning of day 6. Rosh Hashanah is the day when humans were created. Rabbi Elazar gives an hour-by-hour account of that day. In the first hour, God thought about it. In the second hour, God consulted the angels. The 3rd through 7th hours were spent on acts of physical creation of Adam and presumably Eve. In the 8th hour, God brought them into the Garden of Eden. In the 9th hour, God told them not to eat of the fruit of the tree of good and evil, and in the 10th hour, they violated this command. It was quick. In the 11th hour, they were judged, and in the 12th hour, they were pardoned. With this pardoning, God said, "This is a sign for your children. Just like you come before me in judgment, and I have given you a pardon, so too will your children come before me in judgment, and I will give them a pardon." Rosh Hashanah is a day of creation, a day of judgment, and a day of forgiveness. Perhaps you have been building up to this moment, learning about teshuvah, reflecting on the change that is needed. And for all of us, this is an opportunity to restart, to have a first chance, even though we know that by the 10th hour of the first day, we will have made mistakes. There's another midrash about what happened right before the creation of humans, hinted to in Rabbi Elazar's hourly recounting of the day. When, in the first hour, God had the idea to create humans, the angels became divided, some arguing for the creation of humans, some arguing against. Chesed, loving kindness, said, "Create them, they'll care for each other." Emet, truth, spoke up and said, "Don't bother, people are just liars." Tzedek, justice, said, "Create them, imagine the justice they'll bring." Shalom, peace, said, "All they'll do is fight." God threw Emet, the angel of truth, to the earth and assured the other angels that truth would rise up from the earth. And then God went ahead and created humans. Messy humans. Humans who messed up only an hour after being told what to do. Humans who were judged and were given a second and third and fourth and fifth chance. But it's not just about today's creation, not just about the first day or just about the first chance, because creation didn't happen once, and it doesn't happen just once a year. It happens every single day. Today, we celebrate creation and potential. We celebrate that mistakes and pain are inevitable for us humans, just like the angels of truth and peace predicted. Today, we mark the anniversary of God first creating humans, despite knowing that we would mess up. And still today is only one day in the process of ongoing creation and pardon. In the beginning of Genesis, after the first 6 days of creation, God rests. And the description of Shabbat says that God rested from the work that God did. And it also says that God rested from the work Asher bara Elohim la'asot, the work that God had created to do. This infinitive to do, this doing, leaves an opening for ongoing creation, for creation that continues after taking a brief Shabbat rest. There is a shift, though, between the first 6 days of creation and the ongoing creation. In the first 6 days, creation was me'ayin li'esh, from nothing to something. The Or HaChaim, Rabbi Chaim ben Moshe ibn Attar, an 18th century Moroccan Kabbalist, reads this infinitive in Genesis, this la'asot, as the start of tikkun, the start of ongoing repair. Ongoing creation doesn't start again from nothing. It's creation that begins with something that is already formed, but isn't yet perfect. It's already there, but it's not done. God is not a one-time creator from nothing, but a constant creator, a repairer, and also a renewer. Our daily liturgy refers to God as HaMechadesh Bechol Yom Tamid Ma'aseh Bereshit, the eternal daily renewer of the works of creation. Each day, the eternal daily renewer recreates the cycles of night and day, of dark and light. Every day, the renewer ignores the voices of the angels of Emet and Shalom, of truth and peace, and humans are here. Each day there is creation, and each day there is newness and forgiveness. And so we are partners in the ongoing creation and in the ongoing forgiveness. We can create a world we want to see, even with the angels of truth and peace arguing in the background. And this means that we have to do the work of creating. We have to recognize the potential for change and pardon, not only for change in the world of organizing for justice and caring for others. We can also prove the angels of truth and peace wrong when we share our own truths and work to create the internal peace that we need. If Emet truth says people will just lie all the time, how can we be truthful about and to ourselves and others? If Shalom, peace, says people will just fight constantly, how can we make peace with ourselves as a start to sharing that peace? Creation happens every day. Forgiveness happens every day. Just because you weren't kind to yourself yesterday doesn't mean you can't create that kindness today. Just because you weren't able to share your truth today doesn't mean you can't create a vessel for that truth tomorrow. I can't pretend that sharing truth and making peace with ourselves is easy. For years, I tried to hide the ways my brain worked differently. Before the word neurodiversity was in any of our vocabularies, long before anybody suggested to me that different brains just work differently, I was a kid and then a teenager with undiagnosed ADHD and sensory processing challenges. I was constantly trying to figure out why I couldn't just do the things that everybody else seemed to be able to do so easily. Over the past years especially, I've worked hard to unlearn, to stop hiding, and to begin to create a world where I can prove the angel Emet truth wrong. This shift, this type of creation, only works alongside gentle judgment and forgiveness. My internalized ableism hurt me and those around me for years, and still does, even as I have worked professionally with Jewish communities on becoming more inclusive of disabled folks. So now, a few weeks ago, when I was deep in the preparations for the beginning of the Torah school year and the high holidays, at the end of a long day at the Kol Tzedek office, somebody rang the doorbell, arriving to meet with Rabbi Mo. Hours before, I had started to set up my workspace, a folding table in the storefront. And now, when I opened the door, I saw my chaotic, colorful corner through this person's eyes. I'm holding up the purple time timer, which is a big box that looks like a clock and keeps track of time visually to help me with time management. A blue wobble cushion. I am holding up a blue bumpy plastic cushion to engage my body in active sitting. A small fidget toy. This is a single yellow silicone button set inside a plastic star to help me focus. And noise-canceling headphones to avoid sensory overload as the sounds in the office mixed with the noise from the next door construction. After a passing moment of shame, left over from years of hiding and pretending that I didn't need these tools, I realized that I had managed to create something that worked for me. I had managed to understand and see my truth enough that I was willing to literally lay it all out on the table, and with a lot of trepidation, to tell you all about it now. I certainly didn't create something from nothing. And I didn't create something without making many mistakes first. I'm aware of the incredible privilege to have access to the creations of others and their support. And I'm grateful to be part of this community where it's safe to begin to share this truth. I'm committing to sharing the truth that can be hard for me. It can be hard for me to be fully present in long services, even our beautiful cultic services. And I'm telling you all that when you approach me during services with a greeting or a question, I might need a second to take out the earplugs that makes this space more accessible to me. I know I'm not alone in holding these specific truths, and whatever your truths, I hope you'll find space to share them and sit with them in these moments of creation. I invite you all to become co-creators along with the rest of us who lead this community as we create and recreate sacred space on Zoom and in physical spaces. I want to encourage you to remember that every day is a day of creation. And every day is one where we will make mistakes and miss opportunities, all of us. We will all need forgiveness and pardon every day for how we treat others and often for how we treat ourselves. And I specifically want to invite fellow neurodivergent folks to reach out and talk about how we can create a space for our truths and for our connections within our community. Today is the anniversary of the creation of the world, a celebration of the world as it's experienced by humans. It's a moment full of possibility. Will the angels of Emet and Shalom, of truth and peace, be right? Will we fight each other and ourselves and tell lies? Or was God right in throwing Emet to the ground, saying that truth will rise up? Each year, after many recreations, we return to this moment of greatest potential, a moment when anything is possible. We have an opportunity to create what the world can be tomorrow, what it can be 10 days from now on Yom Kippur, 15 days from now on Sukkot, and 6 months from now on Passover. This year, this day and every day, may you experience creation, judgment, and hopefully a lot of forgiveness. May you fight for and seek truth and share it and prove that peace is possible. And if there's a day when that doesn't work, remember that tomorrow is also a day of creation and a day to bring more truth. L'shana tova, to a good, sweet, and truthful year.